Hi, I want to talk with you today about a book that I've recently read called The Activist Learner by Jeffrey Wilhelm, Whitney Douglas, and Sarah Fry. This book has an audience of K through 12 teachers and post-secondary teachers, and I think it's open to all of the content areas because the focus of the book is inquiry, literacy, and service learning. This book takes on service learning as a way to focus and engage your curriculum, and it was created in the post-Common Core state standard era, and it reflects highly on how to meet those state standards, but also while providing students with a curriculum that is challenging to them and a curriculum that is interesting to them and intersects with their daily lives. And I think that's a major draw for me to this book because it wants to take learning and put it back into the context of the lives that the students lead, both in school and out of school and after they leave the school setting, for instance, as they participate as adults in our democratic society. This book gives those students the way in which that they can interact with adults and have some agency over how they speak to adults and how they talk about issues that are important to them, both as children and then as they continue and grow into adults after high school. So this book provides the teachers with service learning as a part of the curriculum. It's not meant to be seen as an addition to your curriculum that you're already teaching because it does have those common core state standards in mind. It doesn't want there to be extra work when the authors know very well how much work we already have to put in with our students and how much learning our students are expected to do. So you'll find that the book presents this as learning goals that are not extra work, but actually complement what you're already doing with the Common Core. This book also proposes that learning should intersect with students' lives and that it should be something that the students are passionate about. And that's something that you, the teacher, will be leading students in as you read the book and you practice the things that this book proposes. This book has a purpose of cultivating joy, love, caring, and the creation of constructive possibilities for students after graduation. And the first thing that this book does for the teacher is it poses the question, what are you teaching for? What is your purpose for teaching? And the answer to that question is the thing that draws me the most to this book because it asks you to think really deeply about that question. And I think many people will say that they teach because they want to interact with students and help them become lifelong learners or to help them become better citizens. And that is what this book has at its heart, as making students into those lifelong learners and learning for their lives, not just the lives of people who read the old documents that are named in the Common Core state standards or read classic literature, but people who participate in society and to be those critical thinkers, which the state standards is pushing or are pushing. The book also will walk you through how to structure the learning in your classroom. If you're moved by what you read here, it will show you how front loading is going to be a very important part of the activist classroom. You will look at your outcome with your students and what their service learning will be, and you will front load all the skills that they will need in regards to critical thinking, literacy, communicating, both written and oral, and you will put that in the front loading format in your lesson plans. The book will also show you how planning an activist learner lesson or unit will result in having numerous Common Core state standards present. In fact, they even said that they're going to be in abundance as you look at the front loading that you do and the learning that goes along the way as students go towards their service learning project. And the book will also include for you some forms and some lessons to help you transform your classroom from a traditional classroom into a service learning classroom. It will walk you through how to help your students approach this transformative process and how to approach it yourself as a teacher. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video so that you can see what a project that was done with the service learning standards looks like. It's a project that was done in Flint, Michigan. And in this project, students who were being affected by the Flint water crisis wrote poetry and worked with an artist in the community and another high school in another city to talk about their stories. And in their stories, they shared what the Flint water crisis was doing in their families and in their lives and in their communities. And they shared that information in order to have the world hear about the ongoing Flint water crisis. The book will also talk about how teachers find service learning rewarding. And I know for me as a teacher personally, that was one of the things that appealed to me for this book, because after 17 years of teaching, I found that the person that I was when I began teaching, my existential question that I answered at the beginning of The Activist Learner, was somehow lost along the way in the standards and pushing for my students to engage with the curriculum. I forgot about some of the joy that I found in helping students learn and create for themselves. And this book hits that right on the head when it says that teachers will find this as rewarding as their students do. There's even a guidance if you're worried about doing this on your own, about how to find a like-minded teacher who can be your partner in service learning. And the authors will even walk you through how to collaborate with that teacher after you found them and how to make your project go forward. So if you are looking for something to make learning more engaging for your students, I would suggest that you read The Activist Learner and look at how these existential questions and service learning can transform your curriculum for your students. Thanks.